Well, friends, I have to admit, Donald Trump's lead defense attorney, Todd Blanche, did score 2 points during his cross-examination of star witness Michael Cohen. The problem for Trump is the prosecutors scored the other 98 points. Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, Michael Cohen has left the building after something like 16 or 18 hours on the witness stand. And what I want to do in today's video is take on just 2 points. 2 really consequential points regarding Michael Cohen's 18 hours of testimony in Donald Trump's criminal trial in New York. But let's start with just a little bit of the new reporting. This from CBS News. Headline, Trump trial live updates as Michael Cohen wraps up testimony. And that article begins, Michael Cohen, the prosecution's final witness in Donald Trump's criminal trial, returned to the stand Monday for a 4th day of testimony, the last appearance he is expected to make. Over the course of the morning, Cohen faced questions from Todd Blanche, Trump's lead defense attorney, about the millions of dollars he made consulting various companies during Trump's first year in the White House and the millions he has made criticizing Trump in the years since. Portraying Cohen as motivated by greed and willing to lie when it suits him, Blanche got Cohen to admit to stealing $30,000 from a tech company in 2017 and reminded the jury about his history of false testimony under oath. And friends, please put a pin in that the defense attorney questioned Michael Cohen about stealing $30,000 and that Michael Cohen readily admitted it under oath, because that may not cut the way you would think it might cut. Returning to the article. Earlier in the day, Justice Juan Merchan said that both sides should prepare to begin closing arguments next Tuesday. He previously hoped to begin wrapping up the case this week, but potential defense witnesses and the Memorial Day holiday have pushed the timeline back. Okay, now, before we circle back to that passage that I just asked y'all to put a pin in, let's turn to another brief bit of reporting. This from NBC News. Trump lawyer did not question Cohen about 2017 Oval Office meeting, a key element in prosecution's case. Trump lawyer Todd Blanche finished questioning Cohen without asking any questions about a meeting Cohen said happened in the Oval Office in early 2017. Cohen said it was in this meeting where the reimbursement plan was confirmed, a key meeting for the state's case as it reaffirms the former president's knowledge of a scheme prosecutors say established the cover-up. So friends, do you think it escaped the jury that Donald Trump's lawyer, Todd Blanche, didn't ask Michael Cohen a single question about an Oval Office meeting between Cohen and Trump that was of central importance to the prosecution's case? You know, is it that Todd just didn't want to touch that snake for fear he might get bit? Todd Blanche will probably argue in his closing to the jury that, well, I didn't ask him about that because there was no corroboration. There were no witnesses. So you can't take Michael Cohen's word for anything if it's not corroborated. 2 responses to that. First of all, there was a witness, Donald Trump. But of course, Donald Trump is not likely to testify in this trial. And if he doesn't, importantly, the prosecutors cannot comment on his decision not to testify. They can't use that against him. Because if you try to use a defendant's silence against him, it undercuts the Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination. So we'll set to the side the fact that there was another witness, Donald Trump. So that takes us to the second point. You can't believe Michael Cohen if he's not corroborated, particularly by hard evidence like business records and ledger entries and emails and text messages. Okay, let's go back to that statement I asked y'all to put a pin in. Remember it? Blanche got Cohen to admit to stealing $30,000 from a tech company in 2017. And friends, I can pretty much guarantee you that in closing argument, you're going to hear about Michael Cohen, the thief. Not just Michael Cohen, the liar. He admitted to lying to try to protect Donald Trump. But you're going to hear about Michael Cohen, the thief. Michael Cohen admitted that he stole $30,000. How can you trust a thief? And the defense attorney will urge the jurors to take to the bank, conclude beyond all doubt that Michael Cohen stole $30,000. But guess what, friends? You know who proved that Michael Cohen stole $30,000? Michael Cohen. His testimony. Uncorroborated. There were no business records or ledger entries corroborating that Michael Cohen stole $30,000. That came from the uncorroborated testimony of Michael Cohen, and the defense attorneys will urge the jury to take that testimony to the bank because it conclusively proves, well beyond a reasonable doubt, that Michael Cohen stole $30,000. You see where I'm going with this, friends? The same place I would go in my rebuttal argument, which comes after the defense closing argument, the same place I would go in every case where I had a cooperating witness and the defense argued, as it nearly always did, that everything the cooperating witness said that was harmful to the cooperating witness, like all the crimes they committed, often with or for the benefit of the bigger criminal fish, which is precisely what Michael Cohen did for the benefit of Donald Trump. The defense will argue, take it all to the bank, even though it is absolutely not corroborated by a shred of evidence. No hard evidence, no witness testimony, no recordings. Take it to the bank because it's something that came out of the cooperating witness's mouth that is harmful to the character of the cooperating witness. And I would argue, ladies and gentlemen, the defense can't have it both ways. Take everything to the bank that Michael Cohen said that seemed to be bad for Michael Cohen, but just disregard it all, even when it's corroborated, if it tends to show Donald Trump committed crimes. You see what they're doing? This is kind of like the defense standing up and arguing to the jury about why they should buy a used car. Yeah, it's like the defense being a used car salesman. And they're trying to sell this car. And they're saying, look at that beautiful finish, the wax job, beautiful, shining, gleaming car. And the potential buyer of the car would say, can I see the engine? Can I take it for a test drive? Well, wait a minute. Let me show you the interior. Look at beautiful leather seats. Can you believe how beautiful the interior of this car is? The buyer would say, well, I'd kind of like to see how it runs. Well, wait, look at the tires. There's like 100 miles on those tires. Pristine. And finally, the prospective buyer of the car insists on opening the hood. And when the used car salesman reluctantly opens the hood, there's no engine in the car. And that's kind of like what the defense might try to pull in their closing argument, saying, Michael Cohen, believe him, take him to the bank on anything that hurts his character, his credibility, but don't believe anything, even if it's corroborated to the hilt, about what Michael Cohen says regarding the crimes of Donald Trump. You know, and I generally would end by telling the jurors the good news is you don't check your common sense at the courthouse doors. You bring it in to the endeavor of jury service and you apply it. It's the most important tool you have. And just as you know that everything that was done in these cruddy hush money schemes and falsifying business records to gain unfair advantage in an election, everything inured to the benefit of Donald Trump, not to Michael Cohen, not to David Pecker, not to the other witnesses who testified. This was for Donald Trump's benefit. He is in this criminal scheme up to his neck. Michael Cohen went to prison for the same criminal scheme. Now it's time to hold Donald Trump accountable for the decisions he made to try to gain unfair advantage in a presidential election. Because, you know, justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe, please stay tuned, and I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.